Engaging some of the local players here as far as developments in the town are concerned. And as I mentioned, Namibia Maritime Museum opens its doors this Wednesday, the 11th of September 2024. It will be officiated by none other than President Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. And to help us understand what this museum means for the town of Luderitz, what this museum means for the broader Namibia, is none other than a person who's been instrumental in making this a reality. That's the mayor of the town of Luderitz, that's Phil Balhau. Always a pleasure.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Welcome, and to the viewers, welcome to Luderitz. What a beautiful morning.
Very beautiful morning. I think it was destined to be, yes?
We arranged special weather for special events.
Your Worship, of course, you are opening the Namibia Maritime Museum, the first of its kind here in Namibia, possibly the largest museum as well, 2,000 square meters. That's huge. 3-story building. Talk to us about this and what this means for your town.
It's an amazing feather in our cap, which we're really, really proud to accommodate. I mean, as a town, we've always felt that we need to add more elements which will attract tourism to our town. As we know, I think we learned a lot of lessons through COVID. Yeah. And tourism is really a very strong sector for Namibia. And this is just another addition that I think is really worth it. But on top of the tourism aspects, I think there's also the educational tourism that really excites me. Because we have so many wonderful opportunities right now in Luderitz. So if there is a possibility for the youth to come here and learn some more and prepare themselves to take these amazing opportunities forward, then all the better for it.
Very much indeed. Talk about your role, the role of your office in the development of this Maritime Museum.
Well, we support all of these state-owned enterprises and all of our stakeholders throughout town, really, as a local authority council. You know, our mandate is to create a conducive environment, and I think this is just evidence that Luderitz Town Council does create a conducive environment, and that's why we were really blessed and fortunate to have a facility like this in our beautiful town.
Very much indeed. And it's housed here at the Luderitz waterfront.
Yes.
I just mentioned, of course, that there are a number of institutions here at this waterfront. You have restaurants, etc. And now you're adding a maritime museum, one and only in the country.
Yeah.
What does this Luderitz waterfront continue to hold and continue to, of course, add to the town of Luderitz here?
You know, I was fortunate to see this building many years ago before Mr. Flaxman and his team pulled in and turned it around into what it is today. And it really is a majestic event or building that have turned it into. Yeah. You know, when you're looking at, this is going to be a very busy building. With the NUST satellite campus opening very soon, and then the Maritime Museum, a beautiful gym, beautiful restaurant. I mean, the best conference facilities in town. So really, this building is going to be such an economic hub where so much will be happening, and I think so much life and so much of future possibilities and opportunities will be planted. These seeds will be planted right here. We're really grateful as a town, and we want to support in any way that we can to make the most of this. It's really been a long overdue.
Very much. Of course, we mentioned that the economic spin-offs from this Maritime Museum are huge. You mentioned tourism. We'll see those numbers possibly increase. What else does this museum mean for the local economy here?
You know, except just for the low-hanging fruit, which is the employment opportunities. As you can see, this already the building is busy. There's lots of people working and preparing. It also just gives us really, having a facility like this has enabled us as a town to also host world-class events like Miss Namibia, the Namibian Sports Awards.
The local content policy conference here.
That as well. We've got a lot more opportunities or events upcoming. So really, it opens up other downstream economies as well. Accommodation industry really does well when we have these events. Our SMEs really enjoy when we have a big influx of guests who come for these events, and they really support our local industries and local businesses. So really it's hard to quantify and to identify a single one, because I think in a small community like this, it really is far-reaching, where every dollar you invest in our community really does reach to the very last grassroots level person. So we're really humbled and grateful for these wonderful facilities.
And one thing I've seen really here in the town of Luderitz is strong partnerships, collaboration. You see it amongst your office, we see it with the Luderitz Waterfront Development Company. You talk about Dr. Angel Terdosilas, who was really instrumental in the establishment of the museum. Talk to us about the synergy and the level of cooperation here.
I think when you're so far from everyone, we always hear Lüderitz is so far. Anyway, we've been isolated or kind of secluded here on our own at the southern coast of Namibia, and that forces you as a community to bind together and work together. And really, when you have the same sort of ideals and vision for a town, like we all do share with Mr. Tortesilas, who's, as you've mentioned, played a critical role in all of this, and I really tip my hat to him. He's such a great gentleman and such a world-class person for us to have here in Lüderitz. But it's because of these strong partnerships that Lüderitz is now really enjoying its time in the limelight, and we're moving forward, and we can only move forward. I don't know if you saw when you come into Lüderitz at our welcome sign, it says we are pulling in the same direction. And I think that should be our slogan going forward. Lüderitz pulling in the same direction.
Very much indeed. Looking at the preservation of the rich history of Lüderitz as well, and I think perhaps we have not done enough to capture and really tell the story of Lüderitz. How do you see that story being told through this museum? I mentioned, of course, it's a 3-story museum spanning over 2,000 square meters. So much history in that. I had the privilege to get a small glimpse of it. Obviously, I couldn't take any pictures or anything of the sort. But yes, how do you see it adding to the rich history of Lüderitz?
You know, I think the most important part about this history is really to shine a light on it as well. So hiding these important artifacts and memorabilia away really didn't serve anybody any purpose. So now that it's out in full display and you can interact and learn, I really think that it'll cement Namibian maritime history for many more decades and many more generations. Really, I think it's important to have these opportunities for school kids also now. You know, I don't think they really understand all of the opportunities that we have just yet. And learning the history of how Lüderitz and Namibia has come so far will guide them in their thinking of the future, because if we're honest, they are the ones who are going to take us forward. 100%. So an opportunity for them to have a quick look at the past and then to find their way forward is, I think, what these amenities will help us do.
Very much indeed. Of course, Mayor Bahau, I had the pleasure of talking to you a few months back on another platform about developments here at the town. Lüderitz is growing, it's buzzing. Of course, we talk about green hydrogen. We talk about the developments in the Sperrgebied or the Zoutpansberg National Park. What does it mean for the town? And there's perhaps a few concerns as well around the availability of land, the expansion of the town's boundaries, etc. Talk to us about developments here.
That's probably priority number one. We've been inundated by investors who are looking for land. And it's really difficult to get ahead of the curve. There's so much demand. And as a town council, we've been actively busy for the last, call it 2 or 3 years, trying to extend our townlands eastward. We actually submitted an application, but after further deliberations between all the stakeholders, we went back, and the bids were just advertised a little while ago. Our teams are busy assessing it now, so we're actually surveying the land that we need. Fantastic. And as soon as we have done the survey, then we apply formally, and that will really then enable Lüderitz to accommodate a lot of these exciting new opportunities which are on their way and already waiting. I think they're kicking down the door. So I think the land constraints is something that we've focused a lot of our attention on. We're really grateful for all the support that we've received so far. And I feel that we've finally started making real headway. As soon as these surveys are done and we have these actual GPS plot points, then everything is cast in stone, and we can start with the next phase, which is then preparing the land and planning the land for the town or city of the future.
Yes. And how do we protect the locals in the meantime? Obviously, we know that historically, where there's an influx of money, we see life becoming all the more expensive. You would see the price of property perhaps spike up, etc. How do we ensure that these developments, exciting as they are and very necessary, do not disadvantage the locals here who perhaps are also looking for land, etc.?
It is a major concern. As a local authority, we've always really been struggling to provide land at the rate of demand. It's 3 times more expensive to service land down here because of our topography and how far we are located. And it's really something that we're also spending a lot of time on. And I think the really only way to curb the fluctuation of prices is to flood the market with land. You know, that the more land there is,
Yes.
the more
cheaper it
reasonable
will
the
be,
prices
yes,
will
yes.
be. But it's something that we're actively working on. It's part of our town transformation project. So really that looks at all facets of a town, because when you have this influx, it really affects every single activity and every single body. So it's important to have clear, conscious plans that are people-centric. And as a town council, you know, we are here to serve our community.
Absolutely.
And protect their interests as well. So really, it's such a complex.
Almost a catch-22.
It really is a balancing act that we're
Yeah.
trying to do. We want these investors to come, but we
Yes.
want to protect our locals and also uplift their quality of life. So really is a balancing act, and it takes many, many stakeholders and partners, as you've started out by saying, that is really the only way to go forward, is if you work with the people and not for the people. You know?
So in essence, what you're telling me, Your Worship, is that I should apply for my plot right now.
You should have applied last year. No, but yeah, no, we're still encouraging people to,
Yes.
there's still a lot of opportunities. I always use the term greenfields, because I feel there's so many openings that Luderitz still needs in its armory, so that we can really cement ourselves as this investment destination that we are boasting to be.
Yeah.
So there's still lots of opportunities. So I encourage Namibians to reach out to the Luderitz Town Council, start at the office of the CEO or
Yes.
my office for a little guidance. But yeah, there's 101 opportunities still available in Luderitz. So
Fantastic
yes.
stuff. Just in closing, Mayor Balhau, I know that there's been some political indifferences here, and of course that has hampered also a lot of development in the town. I think just a month or two ago I read an article where you basically spilled the beans on some of the issues here. Where are we as far as working together on a political level to ensure that the people down here actually benefit here?
Yeah, you see, sometimes, that phrase comes up that sometimes you need to break a few eggs to make an omelette.
Yep.
And that was really the case then. And after that, article, it really did enable us to go back to the table, sit around the table, look at the items that I did raise.
Yes.
And I must say, on the council level, we're starting to implement and resolve a lot of these sort of investigations and just further investigation is probably the word that I'm looking for. So we're trying to address and remedy these issues. We're in contact with our ministry. We're really trying to turn the ship around, because it's no criticism to my team. But we need to run a tight ship right now. With these opportunities and the amount of pressure that we're under. There really isn't a lot of time for us to dilly-dally. We need to be ready to make sure, because this is nationally and globally important for Luderitz to be successful in accommodating these opportunities. So yes, sometimes you like I said, you need to
break a few eggs.
You need to stand in front of the wind and take it head on.
Very much indeed. Mayor Balhau, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning, and all the best to you and the team as far as developing Luderitz is concerned.
Thank you very much, and I hope we see a lot of your viewers here at the opening of the Maritime Museum.
Absolutely.
And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you have it. Mayor Phil Balhau, Mayor of Luderitz, talking to us there about what the Namibia Maritime Museum means to the town of Luderitz as far as developments are concerned. Of course, it opens its doors this Wednesday, and it will be officially officiated by, that is, the President, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. Of course,